You're the first person who's come out smiling.
Well, that's probably right. Let me give you this. Yeah, sorry, Dan.
Now we blocked you. Do you want to give a synopsis of how it went?
Well, to be perfectly honest, it went fine until Senator Carter stood up and made an idiot out of himself, and that's just all there is to it. Made everybody mad, and Robert is a good guy. He's a really intelligent guy, and I told him before, when he talks, he just makes a lot of people mad. But to be perfectly honest, the entire plan has changed just a little bit. I think the Senate would be willing to go to a 5-5-5-5 on an income tax reduction. And what I want to try to put forth is just this, is a solid rebate structure for the lowest income bracket, 0 to 20,000. They get a rebate of $150 plus their tax reduction. And the next bracket up gets $100 plus their tax reduction. So that ought to help our most needy, and we can do all this, and I keep going to the same thing. We can do it without further cuts and without hurting people more. We can help our teachers, we can help our minors, we can help our universities. For crying out loud, this is what we ought to do.
Are you literally sending up new legislation? There's a new bill?
Yes. We're going to send it up in just a little while. I'm glad you mentioned that. But I'll send up exactly that. I'll send up lowering, that's one other thing, lowering of the upper bracket, you know, from no benefit all the way down to 150,000. So above 150,000, you get no benefit, okay? Above 150, no benefit. So really, the income tax reform in the beginning, at least, will be absolutely targeted toward the lower and middle income brackets. That's what I'm sending up. Plus, you get the rebate at the two lowest brackets.
What happens with the sales tax? What are the other 5-5-5 numbers? You ran off a lot of fives there, so kind of take us through it.
Okay, that's a 5% income tax reduction in the first year, an additional 5 in the second, additional 5 in the third, an additional 5 in the fourth. If you trigger, you got to have triggers that ensure that, you know, that we're not going to trigger, we're not going to go down any more in income tax if in fact we don't have growth. And so, and as far as the sales tax has got to go to 6.5. Has to.
So
I mean, just plain has to.
Sorry, will we need broadening of the base, and do you know what those triggers will be? I know that was a big point of contention.
You'll need the broadening of the base, and the triggers that I'm really for are the Eric Nelson triggers. It basically is a 5-year plan, you know, where it shows 5 years, and that's what I think is best.
Are you worried legislatively that you just don't have the numbers? The Senate Democrats, the House Democrats, and the House Republicans, all three, the majority of all three groups are against any kind of income tax reduction. How can you get this through?
Naturally, I'm really concerned, you know, but what I'm telling you is just this, is if we don't do this, then we've got to cut. There's no way around it. We've got to cut. We've got to cut DHHR, we've got to cut K-12, lose our teachers' pay raise, hurt our minors, hurt our universities. Bottom line, you got to cut if you don't do this. Now, I am the most concerned about that of everything coming or going. That's what I don't want to have happen. We have good people that are out there that are going to get thrown in the ditch, and it's not right. It's just plain not right. And if we can avoid that, we ought to do that. Now, at the end of the day, if I lose this battle and people get hurt, at least the people will know I'm battling for.
So who all was invited to the meeting there? How many delegates and how many senators were there?
Well, I don't know. There's a whole lot bigger crowd in there than I expected to come in there. You know, I really thought there were going to be 10 or 12 people, and we were going to have the titans of our education and industry around us and everything, and everybody participating and giving feedback. But when I walked in the room, you know, there was 60 people or 75 people in there, and lots of House members and senators as well.
There are some who believe it was a violation of state open meetings law, that there may have been a quorum of the Senate there, the press was not allowed in the room. Your response?
Well, I don't think that, but I don't know that for sure, and I don't think that. I don't think we had a quorum by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think we probably had 8 or 10 senators in there.
Thanks, guys.
You hoping for a floor vote on the Senate from the Senate tonight? I mean, they're talking about.
I'm going to send it up right now, and I'm hoping for a floor vote on the Senate immediately, and then send it on over. Now the Senate is having to take, they've got to take some deep breaths on the fact that they didn't want to go to 555. They didn't want to really go with that rebate situation that I put forward and everything. And they don't want to go with probably the lowering of that upper bracket, but I think they'll pass it.
The House is talking about holding the roads bill until you sign a budget. Are they trying to hold you hostage here?
Well, if they are, it's got to be the dumbest thing in America. And that's what I told Tim Armstead right in there. I said, if what you're doing is basically saying that you're going to hold the people's roads bill in order for you to get something, then own it. That's all there is to it. Own it. Really, and that's what he should do. If he is really trying to hold up the very, very best thing that could ever happen to this state as far as job opportunity, as far as the drug situation, as far as the apprenticeship program in the road situation, and as far as the money that will generate for our state and good roads, and he's trying to hold that up, playing politics against something else, then own it. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Governor.
Y'all be
Thanks,
good.
Governor.